Hey there, in today's video I'm going to give a short step-by-step tutorial on how you can achieve the smooth animations and transitions which I showcased in a previous video as part of my submission for the show. Today we're in Articulate Storyline and I've created a basic project and imported some elements into the project. The thing to keep in mind when trying to achieve the smooth animations and transitions is what the learner will see before and after. Therefore, it is a good practice to build out your storyline project first and then come back and create these animations and transitions. With that in mind, what I have done is created a basic landing page and then the following page that the learner will see. So let's get started. On our main page, we first of all want to create a new layer. This layer will be seen when the learner clicks the Need to Know button. So we'll build this layer first and then we'll come back and program the button. So I've just created a basic layer and we'll rename this to Need to Know. In your project, this will be called whatever the button is named. We then want to zoom right out of our project so that we can see the full project. This is where we'll start adding in the animated elements that the learner will see. So to do that, let's go Insert, Shape, and we'll add in an oval. In this example, we want to make the oval really big to take over the entire project. We'll bring that into the center of the project, both vertically and horizontally, and then change the color. In this example, I will change the color to orange with no outline. We then want to jump into animations and add an entrance animation. The entrance animation in this example will be a shape, with the effect options coming outwards as a circle from the bottom. Now the duration of 0.75 is going to be quite fast for the learner, so we want to slow that down. When trying to achieve this style of animation, I always find that 1.5 is suffice. Now we don't want the learner to just see a big orange circle on their page. What we actually want to happen is that an orange oval will wipe the screen clear following a white oval. The reason for the white oval is because our base slide is white. So in your own project, you would want the following oval to be whatever color the base slide will be. With that in mind, let's go ahead and copy this circle and we'll change the color to white. Now we want to ensure this one is also vertically and center aligned. And we'll go ahead and rename the circles in our timeline to their respective colors. So the top one is white and the bottom is orange. Now in the previous video, I also mentioned that there may be elements that you might also wish to animate on this layer. In this example, that element will be the curved footer. So let's jump over to the following page and grab that footer and copy it onto this layer. So we'll jump to that slide, we'll grab the curved footer and we'll pop it on to this layer. Now we'll want to add an animation to this element. This time, instead of a circle animation, we'll just use a simple fly-in animation. Again, we will want to slow this down, so we'll slow that to 1.5. Now expanding our timeline, we can see that all these elements will happen at the same time, which is not ideal. So let's expand the timeline and we'll drag the elements out so that they are happening after each other and not at the same time. So we'll leave the orange oval where it is. The white oval, we'll drag that out, followed by the curved footer. So there's two more things we need to do on this layer before the layer is finished. You may have noticed on the base layer, I have a menu here. This menu is actually on my master, so we'll need to copy that over so that even when the animations are occurring, that menu remains there at all times, even though the learner won't be able to click on it. The reason for that is it creates a truly seamless experience and limits the jumpiness of elements on the page. So let's jump into the master slide and we'll copy over those elements. So we're jumping back to the slide layer and we'll just copy it in. You won't need to do anything in terms of animations or timeline, you can just leave that exactly where it is. So at the moment we have added in our animated elements, we've ensured that elements have been copied over that the learner will see on the following and previous slides. However, when this animation plays at the moment, it won't actually go anywhere. So we need to add in a trigger that tells Storyline once one of the animations has been completed, take the learner to the next page. So let's jump into our trigger path. And we want to change the action to jump to slide. The slide will be your next slide or wherever that slide is located. We want to change the when to an object event, which is when the animation completes. And we can see that from the timeline, the last animated element is this curved footer. So we want to change the object to the curved footer. Finally, we want it to jump when the animation entrance has been completed. We can see that Storyline now reorders the slides in the scene due to that trigger being created. So now let's jump back to the base and add in a trigger so that when the user clicks on the Need to Know button, that layer appears. So to do that, we'll go to Triggers. We want to change the action to Show Layer. The layer will be the one we just created. The when will be when the user clicks. And the object will be the button. In this example, I have called the button Need to Know. And we go OK. So let's give that a preview and see what happens for the learner. Okay, so in preview mode, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click the Need to Know button and watch the animation occur. Brilliant. So we can see that Storyline has taken us to that new slide and the elements have all been animated. Now, closing out a preview and going back to our main menu page, there are two final things we need to do. The first thing is we need to change the slide properties. We'll do that by going to the settings wheel, and by default, Storyline will have automatically decide set for when a learner revisits this page. By using these custom animations and transitions, that will play a bit of a problem, as when the learner comes back to the menu, that animated layer will automatically display, meaning if you have other options on the menu, the learner will forever be stuck in a loop. So we want to change that to reset to initial state. And we'll go OK. Now, you might also now be thinking about tracking or user progress. So in this example, if we click on the Need to Know button and we go to States, I've created a custom visited state. and we will use variables in our project to track and change the state of that button once a learner has visited and viewed the respective content of that button. So we'll jump to our second page and we'll add in a variable. So we'll go to our variables and we'll add a new variable. We'll call this variable need to know. The type of variable is going to be a true or false variable. And Storyline will default that value to false. From here, we'll go OK and OK. We now need to add in a trigger that will change that variable from false to true when the timeline on this slide has started. So let's jump into our triggers panel, and our action will be adjust variable. We'll select the variable, which was need to know. We'll leave the operator and the values as they default. The following options of when and object will also be kept as they have defaulted. From here, we'll go OK. Now we'll jump back to our menu and we'll add in a trigger that will change the state of that button when the variable has been adjusted. To do that, we'll go to Triggers. The action will be change state of. The object will be the button, which is called need to know. We want to change the state to visited. And we want this to occur when the timeline starts. However, we need to add in a condition which is linked to that variable. So we'll go show conditions. We'll add a condition. And we'll go if need to know is now equal to the value of true. And we'll select OK. And we're done. In order to preview this, I will add in a dummy button which will loop us back to the main page, just so that we can see how this all plays out. So we'll just go in and add in a basic button, and I won't worry about adding any text. Change the trigger to jump to slide, main one, when we click on it. Alright, let's now preview the entire project. So here we have our initial slide on the base. We'll go ahead and click the Need to Know button and watch the animation occur. Before I do that, you could see that the button is on the normal state. So we'll go ahead and click that now and watch the animation. Brilliant. Now we'll loop back to that previous page by selecting this dummy button. And we can see that the state of this button has now changed to the visited state that we had created. Well, I hope you have found this video helpful. I will be making more videos in the future about other tips and tricks that I use to create this original course. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks.